feel good here. It's okay. Adaptation, it's quite reasonable. It's not stressful. Transportation system is very functional and very effective. So for me, adaptation is quite easy.
I can say that I'm kind of adapting right here. At the first time, I just couldn't be relaxed over here. I just felt like I'm kind of living here is kind of weird or something, because you know, different people and different society. And then, you know, I started to learn the Russian language. I was in Donetsk, so yeah, I just came here because there's been a war. I guess it's gonna be better right here.
Ukraine is a really beautiful country. Vinnytsia is very beautiful place to study in, safe city, and as you see, international students are a lot here. Weather in Egypt is not like weather in Ukraine, so this is my obstacle here in Ukraine.
The adaptation is a bit difficult, sort of, because of weather and climate, and it's different from where I'm from, as well as just the language as well. Like, not many people here know English, so it was hard to adapt, like learning a new language.
About adaptation, the two major problems we had was the language, because in Nigeria we speak English, but yeah, as in they speak Ukrainian or Russian. So the main problem was the language. Then secondly was the climate, the weather.
Actually, at first, especially during my first year, it was quite a little bit difficult to adapt because of the language barrier. You know, I could remember when I had to buy something at the market, I don't know how to say it, I would just have to point that one. But actually with time, you know, I was learning the language, and then everything became much more easier. So at first it was difficult, but I think now it's quite much more easier to adapt. It's okay.
Relationship with Ukrainian people is not very difficult, especially when you have a little command of the language, you know, so that eases off. However, there are certain people we find that speak English and all, so the English fosters the relationship better.
It's kind of difficult because, you know, the language is kind of different. Right here, they just don't speak perfect Russian.
Yes.
Well, me too. So it's kind of different. You just can't say anything in Russian. Yeah. And people a lot of people right here, they just don't speak English, so you just can't communicate with them. Yes, yeah, there's a different way.
It's quite different because I don't speak Ukrainian well yet, so I don't know how to communicate with them. So at the moment it's difficult, but I'm sure later on it will be much easier.
It's actually not difficult if you can speak the language fluently. There are so many nice people that really want to meet you, that want to talk to you, but if you don't understand their language, if you don't know what to tell them, it's kind of difficult. But for those of us that speak English, some Ukrainians that speak English, I have good relationships with them.
Actually, Ukrainian people are very, very nice people. Why? Because they always want to interact with you. When you get into a taxi, you get to understand that the taxi man wants to know more about you. Where do you come from? What do you think about this country? You say, you know, sometimes the taxi man, I remember I had an encounter with a taxi man that knows how to speak my own traditional language back then in Nigeria. And I was so excited about it, seriously. I was like, wow, so these people can be this open. They are really nice people. It's easy to actually interact with them then.
I've not heard insults as I walk around the streets. People are friendly. I don't feel insecure. I don't feel threatened by anything. No, I can walk at any time. You can choose to walk at 11, at 10, at 9, and no negative remarks when I walk around. I've not heard such.
I just had that at the beginning when I just came here. Well, sometimes people just laugh. Yeah. Well, they say, look at this guy or something. Sometimes they just laugh at your clothes or something. Well, that's it.
But actually, the only scary thing here in Ukraine at night. You know, most people drink, but it's okay. They are friendly, but from inside you must be afraid. But they don't harm anyone.
Sometimes, but what can you do? You can't really do much about it. So yeah.
No problem when walking on the road. Actually, it's only maybe when you are walking at night. You know, you meet some drunk people and they disturb you, or They just a little disturbance, but you just ignore them. But there's actually no problem working.
At first when I came to this country, I was uncomfortable. Why? Because I was afraid somebody would like to talk to me and I wouldn't know how to respond back to him. It would look kind of very weird scenario, you understand that, right? But actually afterward, when I spent like close to a year, 2, and then the 3rd year, I became comfortable walking in the street until I came to Vinnytsia. When I came to Vinnytsia, I was just like 2 months old in this Vinnytsia because I was in Lugansk because of the war, so I had to transfer to Vinnytsia. So after like a month, I was coming back from the hospital, and then I was robbed. I was robbed at gunpoint. So they took my phone, they took my wallet, and it was like kind of traumatizing though. It was traumatizing though. But you get to understand that for a week, I was like scared to go out, man. Each time if I noticed a Ukrainian looking at me, I was like, man, this guy is about to rob me again. So I'll be like, I was extremely careful, actually. So that actually disturbed my sense of comfortability in walking in the street for temporarily. But now I can say I've regained back myself again. So I can walk comfortably on the street, actually.
I think I heard stories too, but I heard stories of certain things that people pass through and certain remarks made at people. But for me, I've not heard any experience. The only experience I had about that was a little child that said, I wanted to play with the child, and the child said, no, he's a foreigner. No, but I play with other children.
I think that people right here are the same people, well, everywhere. Because if you just avoid having a problem, you would avoid having it. That's it. Just stay away from problems. You're a student right here, so you just don't have to, it's just a hostel and your university. You can just go eat, have fun, but don't stay, you have to go home early. We were in Donetsk, and we heard a lot of people that were just hit by a gang. Yeah. Well, many Arabs were just having problems with them. Right here it's more comfortable. It's like it's a small city.
Yes.
Well, in Donetsk it's just a big city. There's you can feel the racism kind of. Yeah, but right here, people are just better, and we can feel it.
A good opinion about Ukraine, Vinnytsia especially. No racist here, as I saw.